I mourning the fate of these hypothetical offspring. He, as his subsequent commentary proved, considering the finer distinctions of desire and avarice. "It's not the same thing," he said at last, looking sulky. "Admiration of a woman's beauty in a man is—" He waved a hand, searching for the mot juste. "It's spiritual. It shows that he has a soul." His gaze swept up and down my form, lingering regretfully on my bosom, which was exposed enough for interest and covered enough for decorum. He licked his lips. "But," he went on, withdrawing his gaze, "any consideration of the contents of a man's purse by the lady he is courting is— I regret to say this to one I held in such high esteem only a few short moments ago, but I must. It is mercenary, and shows a cold heart. I must withdraw my protestations of ardour. Good evening to you." He bowed, turned, and stalked out of the garden. I sighed. When would I learn to speak with a tactful tongue? There went another one. I kept forgetting how ridiculously sensitive and illogical men were. He assumed that his fortune would buy a beauty. I assumed that my beauty would procure me a rich husband. It seemed much the same thing to me. But evidently what was permissible in a man was not in a woman. Ah, well. There was yet time. I was but 17. "My dear, Mr. Godalming just hurried away. He was almost rude. You didn't say anything to upset him, did you?" It was my mamma, appearing at the entrance to the shrubbery accompanied by my small brother, Alexander. "Yes, I'm so sorry, mamma, but I'm afraid Mr. Godalming has discovered that he has a soul above marriage to such a one as I. We have parted forever, I fear." "Oh dear, and he seemed so devoted." "Yes, mamma, but you wouldn't have enjoyed being patronized by his mamma. You know you wouldn't." "My love, I could bear anything for your sake." "Well, then I couldn't bear to be patronized by his mamma. It's for the best. We shall do much better by and by," I said, linking my arm with hers and drawing her back inside the castle walls. "I certainly hope so. To be honest, I don't think Mr. Godalming is a man who could make you happy," she said, putting my brother down on the frayed carpet. "So I'm glad you're not to wed him. However," she admitted, "the whole east wing does need a new roof. Or so I fear." My mamma cast her eyes upwards to a tracery of green mould on the stone walls. "Oh," she added, "and that balcony out over the guardhouse is sagging. The wooden framework is rotten." "It would be easier to tear it down than to replace it," I suggested, and mamma agreed. Our home was not a real castle in the sense of being ancient and fortified. My great-grandfather had been a romantic, fond of reading about the gallant knights of the Round Table, and it had been his childhood dream to build a castle by the sea. While influenced by the ruins of Castle Scarborough some miles away, he hadn't been a stickler for historical accuracy. Indeed, much of the structure was non-functional in any but a decorative sense. With winding stone stairs leading to nowhere, murder holes so improperly placed that they could pose no danger even to the most oblivious of intruders, and a hodgepodge of towers and battlements sticking out at random. He called it Crawley Castle, but such was his love for the picturesque that the building produced was immediately and invariably known as Crooked Castle. My great-grandfather had sold most of his holdings in order to build this fantasy on a 100-foot cliff overlooking the North Sea, and then spent most of the rest of his fortune